Thought this would be a nice little video I could do on YouTube without getting banned for telling the truth. So I'm going to walk through Anston Stones, through Lindrick Dale, and then back up the Chesterfield and Worksop Canal. It's a gorgeous day today. As you can see, I'm at Anston Parish Hall, parked on the car park just here. And you can see Anston Cricket Club here. There's been some investment in Anston Cricket Club. Give you a better view as I walk down to it. But this used to be known as the welfare ground. Football pitch here and here. I'd like to know where all the money's coming from for all these upgrades to local facilities. I was doing a video of Worksop town football ground because they've got a new one of these, I think it's 5G pitches, cost them £5 million. And I had a word and found out that the Windsor Food guy now runs them. He's the chairman there. He's invested £5 million, sorry, £500,000 in the pitch, I think it was, and he's also done some other work as well. I think it's £500,000. It could be 5 million, but I think it's £500,000. There you can see the cricket ground. Looks beautiful now. Had some right money spent on it. I'm not going to video the whole route, so what I'll do is I'll keep picking up as I go along. So I'll catch up with you in a minute when I get to the end of this footpath. But you turn left at the end of here. So I turned left at the end of that footpath. As you can see, the River Ryton's down there. Some people know it as Anston Brook, but the real name is actually River Ryton, takes you into Worksop. But the local name is Anston Brook. So I'm going to follow this footpath along and pick it up in a bit so that you don't get bored and you get an idea of what Anston Stones is. So I've just carried along the footpath, and as you can see it's opened up a little bit here. Anston Stones is what they call a site of special scientific interest. On one hand it's a good idea, and on the other hand it's a bad idea because I don't think it's managed very well personally, because what they do is they pull the trees down or cut the trees down and just leave them there to rot. I can understand leaving a few for biodiversity, but it makes the place look a right mess, and if anything that would actually contribute more to CO2 warming, if that's true, with all the rotting timber. But I shan't go into CO2 today, so I might get another ban on Twitter. But I'm actually going to go through the wood, and there's quite a few nice bluebells in here, but you can actually go a different way. You can go left up the top of the hill, You'll find some stones up there, probably why they call it Anston Stones. And then you can follow that footpath around, it'll take you in the same direction, it's like a loop. But it used to be fantastic for butterflies when I was a kid. I came to Anston in '66 with my parents. I was only 2-year-old. I think I first started coming down here probably when I was about 6-year-old, and I would have come down here as a kid, so you can see my sort of life. I wanted to have my parents watching over me every 5 minutes round here. Now this land was gifted, I think, to the Kiverton Rural District. I might find a sign on that later. It was some Duke or Earl who gave it then, I think. And then they passed it on to Rotherham Borough Council. So that one way will take you on the top to some stones. And this way is through Anston Stones Wood with River Ighton on the right. Any questions you have about it, just post a comment. But if you're not from the area, you live in half an hour, well, recommend you popping down here, because there's plenty of notice boards tell you about it. The railway line cuts through here as well. There are sort of limestone cliffs everywhere here. Now there has been some quarrying, because I can, if I go around the back, find quarried, but they've not done too much quarrying in here, which I'm surprised, because I didn't think they were that big environmentalists in the past. There you can see some of the stones. It's big gorges of this all the way down. The council doesn't like people climbing in here. It's really strange and funny, because the reason I say it is if you're going to Derbyshire and go on Stanage Edge or anywhere like that, which is no different, you'll find climbers everywhere. But you can't go wrong on this footpath if you just follow it right to the end. And then what you could do is you could turn left, go up some really steep steps, and come back round the top way. Or you can do the way I'm doing now. So anyway, turn the camera off and I'll pick back up in a minute. Alright, so this is what I want to try and show you. You'll see a bit of a limestone cliff here. They're very hidden behind the trees, but it goes all the way along. You can see it there. Like I said, it does look a bit like Stanage Edge, so you're banned from climbing in here for some reason. Yet Stanage Edge in the Peak District, there's no issue with climbing. Madness really, but that's it. So I'm just going to pop under one of the railway bridges here, and the railway line running through here is the South Yorkshire Joint Railway System, and that connected all the coal lines up to the various pits, and this will actually take you into Worksop. Now there is actually a viaduct cut out at Lindrick, and if they actually put the line down the viaduct that already exists under the bridge, they could connect that line back into Sheffield, and they could run hybrid supertrams into Sheffield. That would give access to 25,000 people around here into Sheffield for working. Similarly, it gives people a chance from Sheffield to come out here and experience the countryside. And like I said, very short, very small cost. They'd need a station and parking in Anston and Dinnington, and then also connect the line at Lindrick Dale through the viaduct. This really just gives you an idea, and I couldn't find a more beautiful day. So I'll pick up again with you in a bit. Just thought I'd show you this if you can spot them. There are some bluebells here, and there's some areas where it's really lush and thick. So we've got a clearer view of the River Ryton now. It's taking you down towards Worksop. I'm on a bridge, and that's coming in the other way from Anston. What you can do is, rather than being on the side I'm on the left hand side of the brook, you could go onto that side. You can see those steps, and they'll take you to the other side of the river, and it's quite nice over there, very unspoilt. And I think this may have been part of Sherwood Forest in the past. Sherwood Forest came all the way up from Nottingham to Sheffield, and I'm pretty certain this would have been part of the original Sherwood Forest, but there's nothing on record about that. And one thing I'd love to see back in here is red squirrels. Can't see why there shouldn't be any in here. It'd be so fantastic to bring them back here where they should be. The view of the River Ryton down there. So I'll catch up again with you in a little bit. So that gives you an idea of what it's like on the other side of the river. If you cross the bridge back there, the only thing that spoils this is if you go to the brim of that hill, there's the A57 behind there. So it's a real shame, because it could be so peaceful on the other side of there if you couldn't hear the cars. But it's pretty grounding anyway if you go on that other side. Those large trees, if you want to go and hug a tree up there. You can start to see a few more bluebells here, but it's not a big area for them round here. All the way along here they're like tunnels under the railway. If you want to, you can go off the beaten footpath, go up that tunnel, under that tunnel, and follow the footpath up, and it'll take you to the other route that's going across the top. It's just a loop all the way around Anston Stones. There you can see the bluebells getting more dense, but there's a certain area, I think when I get to the end of this footpath and you can turn left up the hill, you can go into a more dense part of the wood forest and see a much dense covering over bluebells. But one of the things you can smell around here a lot is wild garlic. It's really smells nice, the wild garlic. I think it clears your nostrils. Now there will be certain butterflies in here. Now when I was a kid, and I can go back to the glorious summer of 1976, we used to come out butterfly catching, which I wouldn't do nowadays. I'd rather take a photograph of a butterfly. But when you're kids you do things like that, and there used to be absolutely thousands of butterflies in Anston Stones. I don't know if it was 1976 with that glorious summer or what, but there are butterflies here today. I've just seen a white one and I think a red admiral, but that's been about it. But I'm sure there must be some distinct species in here that are quite rare. And you can go down to Lindrick Common, which this follows onto, and I think there's some quite rare species in Lindrick Common where the golf course is. So anyway, we'll catch up with you in a bit. I don't know if you can see it in here, but all the way along here is this limestone cliff, and it's just hidden behind these trees. Goes the whole length of the valley, and it's a bit like Cresswell Crags, but Cresswell Crags you've got no trees, whereas here you've got trees covering the actual limestone faces. There's quite a few caves in here, and I think some of it's been dated back to probably prehistoric times, and I'm not sure if they found Roman remains in some as well, or things like that. So there's been excavations around here, and there was one a few years ago, and I don't know what the result of that actually was. Alright, my journey's coming to the end of Anston Stones. Like I said, I'll show you the steps you can go up and do a loop back on yourself to the car park. I just thought I'd show you the River Ryton coming down here, and it's going to loop back under the railway at this side. So when we go through this tunnel in a moment, we'll see the river at the other side, and we'll see the steps that take you back round to the car park. That's a more open walk. You'll see fields on the top, and they sort of encourage certain wildlife there with wildflowers they plant. You do occasionally go through the wood on the way back. They don't make things like this anymore. See the elaborate design, I think, if the camera catches it. But like I said, I've been coming here since I was about 6, and I'm 57 now. Used to do my marathon running training down here. Yeah, I've got notice boards around here telling you more about it. You can actually stop that on the TV or your mobile phone and actually look at that board. I think I've given you long enough to freeze it. There's the bridge, River Ryton. Like I said, if you follow those up, there's like a staircase up. It's like the 39 steps. And when you get to the top of there, turn left and just follow the footpath all the way back. Takes you down, right down the side of the wood with open fields on the right hand side. And then you'll loop back through the wood and back into where we came from. Alright, I don't know if this has been done on purpose or whether it's a blockage. It is quite a well managed site, with it being an SSI, I think, a site of special scientific interest. 3 S's and an I. But sometimes I think some of the maintenance isn't the way I'd do it. I think it could be managed a lot more of the wood taken out. Like I said, I don't know whether that's for encouraging beavers or otters or something, or whether it's just blocked. So at the moment I'm just about going to go up to the A57, across the A57, and then I'll go on to Lindrick Dale. I'm not going to show you much of Lindrick Dale because I've got another video on that you can go to if you want to see the really nice houses on Lindrick Dale. I just want to show you the route. The river snakes all the way through here. It's one of those things, once you've done the circular walk, you can explore off it. I take this for granted, I've known it for so long. Like I said, it's a shame I can't, unless I go off the beaten track, I can't show you the Limestone Cliffs. I can show you another one here. But this limestone cliff goes all the way from where I've come all the way up to here and a bit further along. I think there's a dead man's cave here or something, and various other caves. It's really a shame. If you could switch the cars off, you wouldn't find a more peaceful place on earth. So I'm climbing the hill now, and I'll just say one thing on CO2. It's nearly the end of April now, and we're still getting frost. So if the planet's warming, I'm a Chinaman. So I've now come out of Anston Stones wood. I just want to show you this sign. This sign tells you quite a lot about Anston Stones. And it was so the wood was purchased from the Duke of Leeds by Kiverton Rural District in 1947 with the intention that it was be safeguarded and preserved as a local amenity for the benefit of local inhabitants. And it was transferred to Anston Parish Council in 1973, not Rotherham Borough Council, so I was wrong on that. But like I said again, you can freeze your screen, and I think I'll give you long enough to look at the board anyway. And that'll tell you everything you need to know about Anston Stones. But I'm actually on the busy A57 here, and you can park all the way up there if you want to come in from this end. Park down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cross over to the right hand side, and it's going to be airy because it's absolutely packed with cars. That many people are now moving into Worksop. They've improved the A57 from the motorway, and it's sucking cars up it, and this is not a busy time of day, I don't think. Just gives you an idea, look at it. But like I say, I'm going to switch my camera off, cross to the other side and pick back up with you. So I'm on the other side of the road. It's really noisy with cars here. So I come from up there where Anston Stones is. That'll take you back to South Anston. That direction is Worksop. You see the sign on the other side of the road saying Lindrick Dale. We're turning down into Lindrick Dale. It's absolutely beautiful down Lindrick Dale, but like I said, I'm not going to do a video of Lindrick Dale. You can go to that on my other videos, but what I'm going to do is, once I get to the point, any interesting points on here, I'll switch my camera back on. But I'm just going to appreciate the view along here today, because I won't mind living down here myself. This is just a quick idea of what it's like round here. There's people's gardens on one side, they sort of extend from the other side. And these are the houses down here. Just here you can see the Limestone Cliff, and that is the Limestone Cliff that runs all the way through Anston Stones. It runs from when I first get into Anston Stones just like that all the way along, but it's stuck behind trees and you can't see it. Look at this, what a day. It's the best country in the world when the weather's like this. It's just a shame we've got the worst government in the world. And I'm not a Labour supporter either, so I'm not playing politics. So this lake house here, which isn't actually the lake, there is another house called Dale House which has got the lake, but this one is called the lake house and it isn't the lake, is the one. I'd actually love this house. This is what I call my ideal house. I don't think you can get a better house than that. Look at that on top of there, with your own gate and everything. Like I said, that's what I'd aspire to if I was buying a house. There's all these beautiful houses all the way along Lindrick Dale. You'll have heard of Lindrick Golf Course, which is famous for golf. And a lot of people don't know this. Roger Moore lived at Lindrick Dale, had a house there at one bit on, I think it's Swassage Hill, not Sausage Hill. And as far as I know, but he lived there for a number of years. And there's one particular house I reckon he probably did live in, but I'm not 100% sure which house he lived in. There was a Tudor house there, which has been extensively extended lately, and I reckon he lived there, but I could be wrong. This is another one of the houses. The only problem with this is the house on top, the lake house on top, it's going to have absolutely glorious sun on top of there. But some of these houses don't get a lot of sun on the back. Around the back of here there is actually a quarry. So it looks like to me there was conservation going on a long time ago, because they would have been quarrying a lot of the stone from Anston, went into building the Houses of Parliament after, I think it would have been the Great Fire of London, when it was rebuilt. Went down the Chesterfield Canal. They dug an awful lot of Anston Stone out. Where I lived on the Oval, which was the first modern post-war estate, was at the actual fields there. Were absolutely full of limestone. My dad dug a pit out and had to dig through solid limestone to get a pit in the garage. It's a private road, but a public footpath down here. There's footpaths all over the place because there's another footpath here. Like I said, if you get the basic footpaths, you can then build on your local knowledge. So, something I've picked up over 50 years. There's even more houses around here. This is Wood Mill. There's an old mill down there, and all this entranceway is all new. It's only been here about 5 or 10 years at the most. But there's an old mill down there, converted mill. Anyway, I'll catch you up later. Alright, I can't actually show you much of this because they're now hidden it all behind trees, but this is Dale House here. You can see the top of Dale House. There's 2 ponds there, fishing ponds. It all used to be a lot more open than it is now. It's a shame. They want the privacy, but you know, it used to be nice looking into there. But that's a new house as well. The main entrance to Dale House is round the corner. You used to be able to see in through those gates, and one bit, if there's a blockage, the water pours out of those gates. I don't know whether they've resolved that issue, but I reckon that the next time we have heavy rain, the top lake will probably flood because they've reduced the overflow on it into the bottom one. It'll come out that gate and go down. And when we had some torrential rain a few years ago, it's like a river down here. So this is the best view I can show you, Dale House really, or the lake. It's very hidden though. There's a lake here, then there's like a barrier between it, then there's a second lake, and I think at one bit there would have been a mill just there, or a water wheel. I think that's the history behind it. And then there's like a second one below it, and then the water goes out. But you can just see the house in the distance. Must be beautiful living there. And then it's being fed by the river at the top end. I'm not sure if it's a river Ryan or not. I'm assuming it probably is. Like I said, this is another footpath, but I'm not going up there. I just can't believe it at times. There's 25,000 people live in S25 and there's very few people come out here. About 80% of the people who live in Anston and Dinnington, but if that, rarely come out here. They're missing so much because it's free. It's better than paying £33 to watch Sheffield Wednesday in the English Football League, which I used to do for 20 years. Much rather do this now. We're back under that South Yorkshire Joint Railway again. And just look at this for an area now. Like I said, I've done a video of Lindrick Dale, but I don't think the weather was like this when I did it. Look at that, that's a farm up there. And the animals he has, they must be the best kept animals around here. They must love the life. You can see the railway just here. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's like an open field behind there, and an horse up there. Like I said, these animals that live on here, they must live the life of Riley. There's another couple of houses around here. Not as nice as the others, but they're alright. There's a railway just there. I'll give you a quick view of it, but look at this round here. If you look at this edge on the left, that edge that curves round, that's the edge of the viaduct that would take you back onto the line into Sheffield. So from where that little bridge is there, if they put a railway line round there, a super tram could go from Anston and Dinnington around that curvature and onto the Sheffield line. As simple as that. Very little cost, transporting 25,000 people from S25 into Sheffield for working, leisure and vice versa. And this bridge, the line would go under the bridge. You can see it's a two line into Dinnington there. So if you go to the left, that'll take you through Anston into Dinnington. If you go right, that'll take you on the line to Worksop, so that's two lines. And then if you cut two lines out of that and brought them under this bridge, it'd take you to Sheffield. That's the main expenditure to actually get the South Yorkshire Joint Railway connected up. It's been mainly there for transporting coal, and they're still bringing coal down it. Some quite large coal trains go down it. To say that Maltby pit shut down, so they're not transporting coal out of Maltby. There's been some extensive redevelopment to this line because it's a lot more secure. You can't see in anymore like you used to be able to. I just spent money clearing it out. So there's certainly transporting a lot of coal down it, so I think it must be for one of the power stations, but I thought we'd gone, we'd stopped using the coal, but I don't know. Another glorious view there. If we carry along here, I think it's Whiteley's Farm at the end of here, or it was Whiteley's Farm. It's now been converted into houses. And it's a real shame because Anston and Dinnington, where I live, there's been 10 to 15 farms disappear or more since I came with my family in 1966, and we're only actually 60% food efficient. So why are we closing all these farms down? So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to follow this sign that you can just see coming up and go across the field, and this will take me on to the Chesterfield Canal. It's absolutely glorious today. I mean, just look at it. You can see the buildings over there now being renovated on the farm. They certainly spent some money on it. I'm having another attempt at bread today, and my bread is rising in the upstairs bedroom in the sunlight. So hopefully I can just stick the oven on and I'll be successful with my bread for the first time, because it's not normally rising, but it is this time. I've certainly done some work on there, but like I said, I think it's Whiteley's Farm or something like that. It was Whiteley's Farm. Whether there's any farm work going on there, but it's not going to have animals on it anymore, cows or anything like that, I don't think. So I'll switch back on when I get to the other end of the field. I'll just give you a view all the way around. I like those weeping willows across there, they're all new. I've not been down here for a long time. You can just see how perfect the sky is today. That gives you a better view of that farm, or converted farm. It was a bit dilapidated before, so it does look nice. It does look like the original farm, but much nicer. So what we're doing is we're coming up to the railway line. It takes you from the left Worksop to the right Sheffield, through Kiverton Park, Kiverton Bridge, Woodhouse, Darnell into Sheffield. One bit they were talking about, I think 2 trains an hour in either direction. I don't know whether that ever happened. You've just got this little bit of railway track to cross over a stile. So that's Worksop down there, Sheffield down there, and I used to go from Kiverton into Sheffield when I worked at HSBC. It's only about 15-20 minutes from Kiverton into Sheffield on the train. I think it missed once a morning every 3 months. The problem is it were missing nearly every other night, and I was having to get the second train home. There's another view of the farm. So we now walk up this little bit of a footpath. See bluebells in here, but I didn't show you all the bluebells in the wood. Alright, so I've come up with that footpath. Just had a dog barking at me like anything. He looked, I didn't know who he was with. So I come up that footpath, I'm on the canal now.
The one that says in the most. No, I need to go close to take a picture. Yeah?
So this is the Worksop Chesterfield Canal, built to carry Anston Stone down to the Houses of Parliament and coal and various other things. With this staircase, which I'm not going to take you down, I'm going to go right hand way. There's a staircase of locks down here, take you down to the lower level. It's beautiful down there. So that's Thorpe Middle Lock. So that direction will take you into Worksop town centre, and then you can go through to Retford, and that'll take you to the River Trent at West Stockwith if you go all the way along it. About 20 years ago this was still a desolate canal. It had been filled in. There's quite a number of locks on this staircase. Just showing you back. Take you into Worksop. It's a lovely little cafe down there. I'm assuming that she's open again now. Orchard tea rooms. Well, I'll follow this bit of canal along, and then I'll back up with Anston Stones wood and back round to my car. A few years ago, when we had really cold weather, this part was absolutely iced up for a month. You can see here, these are like turning circles for the boats passing and that while they're waiting to get through the locks. It must have been a very hard life working the canals, and you can watch films of it. I mean, actual real films of it as well. Just here there's a house, or there was a house. It's the main structure's still here, but it got burnt down a few years ago. Don't know what happened, but I think something went wrong with the fire and ended up burning the house down. So the walls are still here, but there's no roof on top of it. I mean, the area's all full of scrap, but this could be an idyllic white cottage next to the canal. But I think the structure will have to be knocked down now before they build anything back here. Could be my perfect house just here, but I'll never get hold of the house. I know the guy who owns this, and I'm sure it'll go on to his family and they'll probably have something rebuilt there. There's scrap everywhere around here, cars down there. total ice, so it's a bit like the blot on the landscape. Such a shame. Could be absolutely perfect, idyllic that. But the Chesterfield Canal sort of stops at Kiverton, and there's a tunnel there, Norwood Tunnel, and part of the Norwood Tunnel's collapsed. So what I understand is they'll take people into the canal, then they'll sort of dig out an area, create like a viaduct, and then people go back in. Oh no, you can't actually go back into the other end of Norwood because people have actually bought the houses there, and I think they now own the canal. So from Kiverton to the rest of the canal, which is somewhere near Chesterfield, I think it's going to cost about £40 million, and it sounds very little, and the benefit it brings to our community, I mean, I think some footballers go for £40 million, but the benefit that could actually bring to our community, that 40 million, and what I've seen wasted the last 12 months on something that I don't believe is anything worse than the common cold, just another variant of it, and what we could have done around the country with that money, and also what we could have done to help reduce cancer. I personally believe that there shouldn't have been a vaccine. What they should have done is updated the actual annual flu jab to compensate for an extra strain of coronavirus, because that's all it is, and that's what the flu jab protects you against. Different variants that they work out the probability of you having a particular virus every winter, and then they inject you with those three most likely variants. So like I said, I think all they should have done is updated that annual vaccination. And just imagine that money. How much money have we spent on track and trace? £37 billion, I think, and it's been an absolute waste of money. £37 billion, and it only takes 40 million to finish this canal off, and the benefit it brings: tourism, leisure, jobs, health, quality of life. I think there's some talk, I might be wrong, of connecting this through to the Sheffield and South Yorkshire Navigation Canal through Rother Valley, but the whole route is a bit up in the air because it could all depend on how people go if they try and get hold of the land. But here is like a sluice way for excess water to drain out the system. One side there'll be a river topping it up, and on the other side it's draining out at this side. Very ingenious. How these people did stuff without computers like we all take for granted. But at the end of the day, computers are garbage in, garbage out. And that's been the same with the climate models. They've been based on false facts. CO2 warming back in 1976 was just a conspiracy theory. And that's what I believe it still is now. And just here we've got a drainage hole for the canal. So I think they can open that and drain the canal out completely. Very little water running down this one, whereas the other one where the bridge was, it's a considerable amount of water draining down. But like I say, I think this is the main drain. You could undo that and empty the canal for that section. But I'll keep picking up along here so that it's not a boring video. Alright, just here at the side of the canal was a colliery, Harris Croft, and that was Anston's colliery. The only problem is it was a flood coal seam. As far as I know, I don't think they dug any coal out. And what they ended up doing was, that was actually the ventilation shaft for Shireoaks Colliery. At the moment it's a brickworks, probably shut down a long time ago. But it's been a brickworks for as long as I can remember it. I think they just store bricks in there, or they might be quarrying out there and blasting. I just lost it there. Yeah, sorry, there it is again. That's the old colliery building. Probably the only colliery building remaining around here. Alright, so I'm just following the canal along, and what I'm doing is I'm looking for a crossing on the railway. On the right hand side, I'll cross the railway, go up the fields, take me through South Anston, and then back through Anston Stones and back to the car park. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. Just there you can actually see the railway straight line down there that I'm gonna go across. I'll just show you another view, coming to another bridge crossing point here. If we don't cross it, it takes you back into Worksop. And if you go under the bridge, that's carrying on to Kiverton, and we're carrying on. I'll zoom right down for you. So this is another idyllic spot on the canal. It's a real shame you hardly see any boats coming down here between Worksop and Kiverton. At some stage there's going to be an awful lot when they finish the canal, but at this moment in time it's very rare I've seen a boat coming up and down here. More liable to be a tour by Chesterfield Canal Trust. We're just about at the crossing point to cross the railway, go back up the fields. There's a bridle path on the other side. Sometimes you see horses going up there. And when I get to the turn off on the right hand side, switch the video back on. So I'm going to turn right now across here, over the railway. Hello. So that takes you to Sheffield, back to Worksop. So we cross this bridge and we'll come to the bottom of the field, and I'll show you the view from the bottom of the field. So look at that for a view today, not a cloud in the sky. Seeing chemtrails again a bit. And I've actually seen a picture of a plane in an airport abroad, and they hit something by mistake on the plane, and it was ejecting something out of the back of the plane. Now I know there's a lot of videos of Doctor nowadays, so but I'd be interested, was it actually how we see so many chemtrails in the air at times, and whether they're genetically modifying the weather. But I know the planet's cooling as the sun cools. You can actually see the moon up there. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, I can't see it on my screen, but I'll come back down just to show you the view. If I just shoot up here, saves me walking up. And that tree just there, I think it's high ash. And as far as I know, I think it's appeared a lot on BBC Local North Weather as a photograph. Because it can look really nice, that tree, depending on what time of year it is. Take some really nice photos of it. So I'm going to catch up with you halfway up this hill. So we're halfway up the hill now. Gives you an idea of the view. Just over to the left hand side, what they used to do is turn green waste into compost, and I don't know how they didn't make that business pay, because they must be able to make a fortune at that. Just thought I'd show you that lovely plough field. Must have took them ages when they used to plough them with horses, and the older variants of tractors, and now they just pull these monster beasts out and plough these fields over within an hour or so. But we're just about at the top of the hill. We're heading into South Anston. It's been so long since I've come up here, I forgot which tree's which. It's possibly this one that's high ash, yeah, sorry. The other tree I said was high ash probably wasn't. I think it's this one just here. I know there's an estate called high ash in South Anston. Well, this looks like the bigger of the trees. And what I do is follow this footpath along this row of houses, and it brings me along to the road. And that road originally was the A57 that passed through South Anston. It's just a minor B road now. I think it's this tree that's high ash. Yep, it's definitely the bigger one. So now you can see this row of houses coming up. This is the back of the estate. And I'm just going to follow this footpath along. It's going to become a tarmac footpath in a minute. And just go straight along here to the main road. So we're now at the tarmac footpath. See North Anston in the distance. And one bit, South Anston used to have loads of farms. It's I think it's only got one farm left now. Probably had 5 or 10 farms, probably even more. So I'll catch you at the main road. Right, so I'm now at the main road, turning left, and I'm going to go a little bit of a detour through South Anston, past the church. So I'll just follow this road round until you get to the crossroads and the church. It's quite an interesting area, so I thought I'd just show you this. Alright, so we're coming to what was originally a church farm court, built at packed all houses on it, and Charlie Scola used to own the farm, and he was one of the guys, helpers at the church. See St James's there, it's beautiful. It's a nice church, St James's. Now I was not confirmed at that church, but I went to Sunday school, Pathfinders, and just show you. These are the houses they packed on the old farm. There's the old farmhouse stuck in the middle. Just there, the old farmhouse. So that's still there. Yeah, so I went to Pathfinder Sunday School and Scouts associated with it, and I was confirmed while I was there, but it was actually at Thurcroft, which isn't half as nice a church as this. This is beautiful. The only problem is I don't go anymore because I think it's too high church. I don't think it's very spiritual. And they don't believe in the New Testament, do they? Because the new Jesus healed lepers, so why are they worried about COVID-19 if they believe in the New Testament? Not that I believe it's anything worse than a common cold. So we're at a junction now in South Anston. We're on Sheffield Road, which was the old A57 when it came through. There you can see what a beautiful picture, and I'm going to have to take a snap of that and stop the video. So I got a nice picture of that, but I want to show you is this little corner here. That is Paradise Square, and that's where John Wesley, I think it was, either Wellesley or Wesley, when he started Methodism off, did his tour and stopped there for a talk. So I'm now turning right and going down through the crossroads back into Anston. So we're now at the crossroads between North and South Anston. There was an argument about this on the MP's Facebook page when it was actually put on the crossroads, sorry, the actual traffic lights, and I contacted Rotherham Council, and the guy said it went back to his records, and it was at the end of 1979. So before 1979 there were no traffic lights here, and there used to be some posts as you came up to it to either side, and I don't think it was even, I think it was just you didn't stop either, you could just carry on, you know, so it wasn't a stop, definite stop there. I had to focus on that because it's a really busy crossing. They've just put some, I think, a pelican crossing there a bit further on. I think there's probably been 5 deaths on that road. And that's why in like 1979, end of 1979, I think there was a young girl killed, and they finally got those lights on it. But they've had to put a camera on there because people were still speeding and going through red lights, so you can't stop idiots. So if you go under the railway bridge, and then you'll see a sign pointing turn right into the parish hall, and we're back where we started. See the football pitch there, the car park up there. So that's end of my tour around Anston Stones, Lindrick Dale, and the Chesterfield Canal. Speak to you later.